Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is post-game edition Reds Brewers. Hang on one second. I got to share this on the Facebook groups before I get going here. I am so excited about the freaking Reds. All right. First of all, Elly De La Cruz is the most electrifying man in baseball. I have never, in my 40, let's see, Craig said it's 44 years. In my 48 years of watching baseball, I have never, ever seen anybody steal second, third, and home in consecutive plays after he hit a single. This is unbelievable. Elly De La Cruz is the most electrifying man in baseball. The Brewers just lost it. They went nuts. Their manager got thrown out. The third baseman got thrown out. They have no idea what just hit them. By the way, what's up? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the greatest city in the world, Cincinnati, Ohio. Home of the first place Cincinnati Reds. Now, do me a favor. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm up to, 2,240-something viewers. Like I said, I didn't write none of this stuff down. This is impromptu. I'm so excited about the Reds. But if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. And also, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, we're doing super chats. So if you want to support the show, or you got a comment that you want to make sure that I read, give me a super chat. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm brought to you by T Properties in this glorious place. The Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertyllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And you know what? We're talking baseball, but we still got the greatest quarterback in the league. His name is Joe Burrow. We call him Jackpot Joey. You can go get the gear right there, jackpotjoey9.com. We got hats, we got banners, we got flags, we got all kinds of stuff. Portions of the proceeds go to the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund and the Joe Burrow Fund. The beer's coming out in about 2 or 3 weeks. Anyway, guys, let me check out the comments here. Craig, I just said it off the top there. I'm with you. I've never seen this in 48 years. Never seen a guy like Elly De La Cruz. He is unfreaking believable. I mean, he changed the game. He changes the game on a freaking single. A freaking single. He scores second. Or steals second, steals third, and then, the thing, if you watch the replay, he wasn't going to steal home. He took his batting helmet off. He kind of looked, and they weren't paying attention. He's like, oh, crap, I'm just going to go. And then he takes off, and he scores home. He steals home. Unbelievable. Oh, my goodness, Holmes, what is going on? Dude, I don't know what's going on with the Reds, man. It is something special. This is special. Now, for all the people who got butthurt last night about Abbott, for the love of God, he had one bad outing. I'm like, give him a break. Man, I love Twitter, but sometimes y'all drive me nuts. And I'm like, oh, this is embarrassing. This is terrible. Like, Abbott had a bad outing. He's a freaking rookie. He's been pitching like an ace. This is probably the best. I don't know. Maybe we're the best team in the NL Central, but this was the best team in the NL Central. And the Milwaukee Brewers that Abbott was facing. They're good hitters. They're a good team. He didn't pitch very good. It happens. Weaver pitched like ass, and we won. Like, it's baseball, man. That's it, every day. It's 162 games. Anything can happen. Elly, I'm with you, Ken. Elly is a freaking stud. Absolutely. Chandler, woo! He's going to jump on here. He's eating dinner. He's going to jump on with me. I sent a couple invites out to a couple of different people, see if anybody can join. We'll try to get some interesting conversation going here. But I want to get my son on because he is slowly convincing me of this trade offer that he has. But I want him to get on here and I want him to explain it first. But I don't know, what's your guys' thoughts here? I mean, have you ever seen anybody like this? Have you ever seen anybody like Elly De La Cruz? I haven't. There's no fear in this dude. You give him an inch, he's literally going to take a mile. I mean, this team, like I said, some Reds fans are, doom and gloom. We got beat by the Brewers last night. This is embarrassing. This is terrible, blah, 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 blah. And then you have a game like this. where they come back and they make it happen. They make it happen. Joey Votto, Joseph Daniel Votto, the Canadian Cowboy. Let's not forget about him. I called it. If you follow me on Twitter, I called it. And I cannot believe I got it right. I called it. He freaking hit a home run to tie the game up. It was, oh my God. Anyway, first guest here, we got my boy, Big Savage Greg. What is going on, brother?
Strawberry, the last time I remember somebody stealing home, that was Benny the Jet Rodriguez from the Sandlot, bro.
But the thing is, Greg, it's not just stealing home. He stole second.
Dude.
Third. He stole in consecutive plays.
No, so Strawberry, I didn't get it because I don't get Bally Sports and all that. But, dude, I mean, when I just see him, man, I mean, this dude, it's just unbelievable, man. I mean, we not supposed to be surprised, but the fact that this just keeps going and going, I mean, Strawberry, man, this is just unbelievable.
It's ridiculous, Greg. I mean, like Holmes said here, he said, this is one of the best young teams I've seen assembled in a very long time. I agree with Holmes. And Holmes is a Cardinals fan. So I give, he follows us because he's a Bengals fan, but he's baseball. He's a Cardinals fan. But I'm with him. I've said this a million times on my show. I've never seen this many rookies come up and make a difference. I mean, Matt McClain, Spencer Steer can play anywhere. Elly De La Cruz, I keep saying, is the most electrifying man in baseball. They changed this team. When Matt McClain and Elly De La Cruz came up, they changed this team. Joey Votto is rejuvenated. I mean, no, do I think he's going to hit 300? No, but I don't think he's trying to hit 300. I think he's just trying to jack homers, and that's what he's doing right now.
Strawberry, it's like the scene in Forrest Gump. I called in Tony Pike's show. It's like, they're looking for shrimp and all that, and they try to pray and all that. And remember, Lieutenant Dan's like, where's this God of yours at? And Forrest was like, it's funny Lieutenant Dan said that because right then, God came. And it's like, ever since then, winning's been easy.
Right. And that's
all those prospects, man. I mean, I was talking to my uncle who's been a Reds fan since the 60s, and he was listening to a guy on the radio saying, never in my life have I ever seen so many prospects all at once come up like this.
No. And the thing is, I keep forgetting about Abbott. I mean, I keep talking about the position players, but Abbott, I know he had a bad game last night. It's his first bad game. And I'm sorry, that Twitter kind of irritated me last night where people were like, oh, we're getting our ass kicked. Oh, this is embarrassing. I'm like, it's the first bad game Abbott had, and it wasn't like he pitched horrible. They just took advantage of the pitches that he gave them, and they crushed them. And Milwaukee's a very good team. So, I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Dude, Strawberry, man, I kept looking back and forth like, oh, we're screwed. But Joey Votto, man, remember when everybody had this conversation? Oh, I don't know how Joey Votto's going to do with all these young guys. He might ruin the locker room. You look at Will Benson a couple days ago. If it wasn't for Joey Votto, I wouldn't be where I am. You see when Elly stole home, who was the first guy out of the dugout to high-five him, be all cheerful? Joey Votto. He even openly said, I love hitting behind all these guys. Votto, man, is, if anything, he just made this team so much better.
Votto just wants to win. I mean, Votto's been here. He hasn't been on a winning team since 2012, 2013.
Right.
2013 was the last time we made the playoffs. We lost in a one-game playoff to the Pirates. That was a long time ago.
Right.
Votto is at the end of his career. He wants to win, and he wants to win in a Reds uniform. He doesn't give a crap what it takes. He wants to do it. And when these people drove me nuts, they're like, oh, he might ruin it. I'm like, look, if Joey Votto doesn't think he was ready to play, he wouldn't have came back. I said that a million times on there. Joey Votto has a standard that he expects out of himself. He knows he's not the Joey Votto of the MVP years, but if he can't contribute, he's not going to play, and he's contributing.
Strawberry, out of all your years watching, how on earth have we ever seen this many stolen bases before in our lives? All these we have 8 or 9 guys on the team that can steal bases.
Not from a Reds team. I mean, I remember reminds me of the 1980s St. Louis Cardinals when they had Vince Coleman, Willie McGee, Ozzie Smith. I mean, those guys ran all over the place. Now, I mean, the Reds in the 80s and the 1990 team ran, but not like these guys. I mean, I've said this before on my show. They'd steal home if you let them.
It's just so I asked my uncle this, so I'll ask this to you too. I don't mean to insinuate that you're way old. You're only like 10 years older than me, Strawberry. But anyway, have you ever seen the Bengals and the Reds good? I know the 89-90 seasons, I think they were good at the same time. But have you ever seen where both they're both good at the same time?
No, were they this good? No, because all right. So 88, the Reds were that was the end of their 5-year run where they finished second all the time. I mean, they were good,
right?
But they weren't like elite. So that's where I'm putting this at. This is the difference. They were good. They weren't elite. The Bengals were elite in 88. 90, the Reds were elite. 90, the Bengals, they made the play. That was the last time that I know the Bengals and the Reds in my lifetime, I think, were pretty good. Now before that, we had the Marvin Lewis era where we made the playoffs and couldn't win. That was the thing. It's like, 2010 to 2013, the Reds and Bengals could make the playoffs, but they couldn't win a playoff series.
Right.
The Bengals have blown that out the water. We went to the Super Bowl, went to the AFC Championship game. This team right here, they can win a playoff series. I think they can.
I mean, all this summer, you and I were doing talk shows here and there with one another back and forth. I mean, you can only talk so much about the Bengals before training camp comes. I just thank God we have something to keep us occupied for the Bengals season. Now it's like when the Bengals season comes, we're excited the Bengals season's coming, but at the same time, we'll be on our phones watching the times when we're at the game, checking the Reds score. I mean, this is just so awesome, man. I just couldn't be more grateful about this Reds team right now. I filled out my application to hop back on the bandwagon. My uncle notarized it. No, I called out a lot of bandwagon Bengals fans, so I'm a hypocrite. I am an admitted bandwagon fan to jump back on. My only asking is, Phil Castellini, you've been given a gift here. You better handle this right. That's all I'm going to say. See, I don't consider myself a bandwagon. I still watched them. I was just pissed off. I didn't watch them as much. I mean, I did watch them. I don't watch them. It's hard to watch them when they get their head kicked in all the time. Last year was hard to watch. I did watch them. I just didn't talk. I mean, on my show, I was like, well, no, you never talked about it. I'm like, well, there's nothing to talk about. Right. I mean, it's a talk show. It's supposed to be interesting. It's supposed to engage people. Nobody wanted to talk about the Reds, so there wasn't anything to talk about last year. There's stuff to talk about. I mean, it's fun. Strawberry, did you just see this? This just popped up on Blaze Report. First time since 1920, Elly De La Cruz stole 3 bases like that. Yep. I mean, you look at the guy's name was Greasy something. Yeah, Greasy. And you look at Abbott. I mean, all these records like Abbott was breaking in the 1900s. I mean, this is like back in the 20s and 1900s. All these rookies are breaking. This is just how incredible of a team we have right now, man. I mean, Strawberry, I think we could compare this to the Bengals 2 years ago when they went to the Super Bowl, when they had nothing to lose. Call me crazy, but dude, this team has nothing to lose. This team knows how to win. And here's the thing. They don't give a crap who the Brewers are or what their history is against the Cardinals. They don't care. They're like, we're just out here to win and play. Exactly. All right. Holmes here. He goes, he likes to say he's a Cardinals fan. He said, I was going to say that Cardinals stole 314 and 85, but the Reds not only steal bases, they keep scoring runs and come from behind all the time. And I think we lead the world in come from behind victories. Now, Chandler's going to, give me crap. He goes, talking about bandwagon. This guy changed his name from Bengals Talk with Strawberry Ice, and now it's back. I'm like, yeah. Well, the reason I thought about it, the reason I did that is because nobody wanted to talk Reds, and I was talking 99% Bengals. So I was like, all right, I'll just change it to that because that's all I'm ever talking about. Right. Well, so, Strawberry, I got to head off, buddy, but promise me that, did you get your tickets for the game Friday? Not yet. We went to watch I was going to do it. So my wife decided that we all decided to go watch Indiana Jones movie. So I was literally trying to not fall asleep during the movie. So after that, I went home because I wanted to watch the Reds game. I went home, took a nap. I will try to get them tomorrow. I'm going to try to run down there and go get them tomorrow. But I'm going to do my best to get there because I want to go. I mean, this is so much fun to watch them. Absolutely, man. Well, Strawberry, you take care of yourself, man. And what do we say? What's the Who Dey saying for the Reds? Do we just say, go Reds? Go Reds, baby. Go Reds, buddy. Take care, Strawberry. See you, man. Yeah, Jolly's going, shots fired. He's my son. He's been giving me credit. All right, full disclosure, Chandler's the one that just trying to talk me out of changing the name to Bengals Talk with Strawberry Ice, But if you guys watch the show, then that's all I was talking about. That's all anybody wanted to talk about. And like all my friends was, Bengals and Brewers, rally around the Natty, Cincinnati. All they did was talk about Bengals. So I kind of tried to do that to try to help the algorithm out. Either way, not a bandwagon. Far from it. You come down and look at the ice cave. I got more Reds memorabilia down here than I got Reds or Bengals stuff. It's tough to talk about sports when the team you watch loses all the time. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I mean, Mo Eggers even said this, that it's nice that he can actually talk about the Reds and talk about the actual games, not listen to everybody bitching and complaining about the ownership. And that's me. I don't want to keep having shows about where we're complaining about this or complaining about that. I try to make it positive. So as my mom used to tell me, there's
nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I was trying not to, because every time I talked about the Reds, my anger would come out about them. So welcome back. I never left. Just didn't talk about it. Anyway, let's just Lucy. Awesome game. Love Cruz is a legend. Exactly. I mean, and the thing is, Cowboy talked about this on the broadcast. Spencer Steer. Elly De La Cruz is electrifying. Spencer Steer is one of the most versatile players I've ever seen in my life. He played left field, plays third base, plays first base, and plays them all extremely well. He's the one that started taking fly balls in left field. Cowboy talked about it on the broadcast. He's the one that volunteered to go out there. Now, yeah, he saw the writing on the wall. He knew Elly was coming. He knew Matty McClain was coming. So he knew, somebody's got to move. He's the one willing to do it. That speaks volumes for him. And the way he plays every position is, it plays like all these guys play these positions like veterans. It is just refreshing. Lisa, what's up? We've watched every day. You never know what they will do next. Love this team. I was in high school when the Big Red Machine won the World Series. This team doesn't have the big egos like Pete and Johnny Bench. Not right now, they don't. I mean, that's the thing too. Lisa, I'm talking about not big egos. Joey Votto. And people are like, he's going to mess this up. He's going to mess that up. I'm like, I don't know Joey Votto personally at all, but if you've ever seen him and his interviews, he's literally said, I'm a Reds fan. I love this team. I love this city. I want to win. This city, these fans deserve a winning team. That's all Votto has wanted to do. And he worked his ass off to try to get back here. I mean, if he had a big ego, he could have came up, at the beginning of the season or, right after the season started. But he knew he wasn't ready. I mean, I think Cowboy or John Sadek said it in last night's game. The home run he hit last night, he's got two hands on the bat. They said he couldn't do that in training camp. Or spring training. He couldn't do that in his first rehab. He waited till he got to where he could hold two hands on the bat to swing because he knew that's what he was going to have to do to be productive. Again, Joey Votto is not going to be the 300 batter that he was. I don't think he's trying to be that guy. He's not being the walks guy. He's doing what this team needs him to do. This team needs him to knock runners in. He's batting 6th, 7th, and he said he's fine with that. That's what this team needs him to do, and that's what he's doing. That's right there. And you're talking about, Lisa, you're talking about a Hall of Fame player. So, yes, that man does not have an ego. So like I said, there is no egos on this team. They are confident, a little cocky, but confident in what they're doing. They expect to win. They come out there going, they don't know. I've said this before. They don't know they shouldn't be doing this. They don't know that. They think they should be, and they are. It's unbelievable. Can he pitch? You mean Elly? He might be able to pitch. He can throw 100 miles an hour. Adam, look up the efficiency of Ricky Henderson and how he was able to affect so many games. This guy is part of the even better. Yes, Ricky Henderson was one of my favorite players ever. I mean, he never played for the Reds, but I loved watching Ricky Henderson play. And I always wanted to get a player like this. Now, Ricky Henderson is a leadoff hitter, but Elly is doing everything that Ricky did with more power. Now, Ricky Henderson, you say, well, Ricky Henderson, I think he has the most leadoff homers in baseball history. Today's baseball, Ricky Henderson, you might move him down to a third spot. You might. The way he could bat. Old school baseball, he was a leadoff hitter. But yes, I mean, it is unbelievable what Elly does and how he literally changed the game on a single. Adam here. Ricky was like 75% successful stealing and 60% successful scaling third or some crazy number like that. If De La Cruz can replicate those numbers, The amount of scoring opportunities will be presented with will be unbelievable. Yeah, just, I did text you the link, Chandler. He says text me the link. I did. Check your Twitter or check your text. Goofball. Here, I'll send it to you again. Hold on a second here. Copy. Paste. Send. I texted to you. Anyway, but yeah, it's wow. I mean, the guy we have in Elly De La Cruz is, me and Cam talked about it. Hey, Cam, what's up? You want to jump on? I'll send you a link. Me and Cam talked about this on Friday's show. Elly De La Cruz is going to be the face of baseball. I mean, it's Shohei Ohtani, it's Mike Trout, Elly De La Cruz. Hang on a second. I'm trying to set this up to invite Coach Cam if he can jump on, which I don't know if he can or not, but I'm going to send it to him anyway. We're at there. But that's the player that we have. I mean, I remember, the Reds got Yasiel Puig. And I remember when he came up with the Dodgers, and it was Puig mania. And I'm like, man, I would love the Reds get somebody like that. I mean, when the Angels got Mike Trout, I'm like, why can't the Reds get somebody like that? We have that now. I mean, it's the same thing I said when the Bengals got Jackpot Joey. I'm like, I was going nuts because I knew what we had. You had that elite player, and now I'm not comparing Elly to Joe, because one player does not change a team that dramatically as much as a quarterback does. I'll try to specify this. Elly De La Cruz changes this team a ton. Joe Burrow affects every freaking play because he has the ball in his hand. So that's the difference. But Elly has changed the way this team plays. He has brought an energy. I mean, Cowboy said it in the broadcast again. Elly stole home. Now, if you saw Lucas Sims came out and struggled a little bit, got through the first inning. Elly De La Cruz stole second, stole third, stole home. Lucas Sims was locked in, ready to go. That right there, that energy, that hustle, that aggressiveness, that changes, that play changed the damn game. The Brewers were done. The Brewers were done after that play. And Lucas Sims came in and shut the door down. So, in effect, Elly De La Cruz is not getting Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow affects the game every single play. Elly can't do it every single play, if that makes any sense. He can do it every at bat, which is 3 times a game, maybe. John, Elly De La Cruz needs a great nickname. I call him Mr. Electric. Mr. Electric, electrifying Elly. Or the one I've tried to figure out here is Elly, spell it Elly and then electric. Peelly, fying. Ellyfying or something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Ellyfying Cruz or something like that. That's the way I would put it. My boy, C-Dog, what is up?
Dude,
how are you feeling watching Mr. Electrifying Elly De La Cruz?
The lengths that I had to go through to log in here were very upsetting. This took me freaking forever, but I got in. I'm here.
All right.
Oh gosh, my computer just being crazy. Yeah, dude. I just had to get a Victory Coke here.
Yeah, I'm with
sponsor the show.
Yes.
Sponsor the show. Yeah, Coca-Cola.
Well, I got Rockstar.
All right. Now that I've had my Coke.
Yeah. What's your thoughts? We'll get into your trade in a minute here. Let's talk about the game first.
I've got a lot to talk about.
I know you do.
Where can I start?
The floor is yours, my son.
Well, I mean, I feel like you got to talk about Elly. You've already talked about Elly a lot. But I mean, like, dude, the thought came across my mind for how much I'm talking about Shohei Ohtani, and how awesome that'd be to get him. I'm like, Elly could be like better than he is.
Elly is Shohei, he just doesn't pitch.
I mean but Elly could end up being better than Shohei Ohtani. And I mean, he might just offer more to a team than a guy that can play two positions. I mean, you have a guy that can score a single and then with no help from anyone else, just fucking gets a run. I'm like literally Elly De La Cruz there's a scenario where the dude could literally stand at home plate, watch 4 pitches go by, walk to first, walk to second, walk to third, walk to home, and he just scored a run without swinging a bat, without doing shit. I'm like, dude, how is that? That's insane. That is insane.
That's basically what he did. I mean, he got a single, and then he got
an RBI single. I mean, it was pretty. That was great play.
Yeah, you're right. It was an RBI single. I forgot about that.
So
I got so excited about what he did afterwards. Yes,
but I mean, it's just. I mean, what can you say? I mean, he definitely has his fair share of like rookie mistakes. You know, we'll see him get too aggressive base running sometimes, and I mean his strikeout his strikeout today sucked. I mean, but no, this is what I'm saying is like he's this good and he makes a lot of mistakes. So my point is when he figures it out, when this guy's a veteran, I'm like, that's why I'm like, that's when we have a guy that's better than Shohei Ohtani. I mean, right now he's the most electrifying man in baseball. Don't get me wrong, but like that's the point when you have a guy that doesn't make any mistakes or minimal mistakes. You have a guy with that baseball sense that Votto has. He has a feel for the strike zone, like Votto. I mean, he's trying to learn from Votto so much, and that's great to see. But when you have that version of Elly De La Cruz, that's when you have the best player in baseball.
Dude, it's just ridiculous. I mean, let's discuss. I want to roll back to a little bit of last night's game, and Yumi discussed this earlier today. Abbott has pitched awesome. It's going to happen. He's going to have a bad game, and it wasn't like he pitched terrible the whole game. Brewers are a good team.
He pitched better than Luke Weaver did today.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Is it time to put Weaver down and bring up Connor from AAA? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, to be honest, I don't know the first thing about Connor and AAA, but I gotta say, I mean, I think I could probably do a better job at the mound sometimes. So I'm like, dude, at some point, like, you gotta just change it up. I mean, you have to see what these other guys got. We got to try to start someone else, and I mean, they can't do much worse than Luke Weaver. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, seriously, if you
want to get rid of Dream Weaver,
yeah, I do. And you know what? His stuff's actually pretty good. Like he could be a good pitcher, but I mean, I don't know what he needs to have happen.
Well,
does he need to go to the minors? Does he need to be a reliever? I don't know.
It's placement. The second home run that he gave up to the shortstop there, I can't remember his name. Tyler Stevenson has got his glove up here. He wants it up high. And Cowboy kept saying it because he threw it higher than high to swing at it. That's what Tyler Stevenson did. And then he threw it down here. It's placement of the pitches.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where he's missing. And it's – where do you get better at that? I mean, I don't know. If he's a reliever – it wasn't like it got worse as the game went along. He still did it from the first inning all the way to when he was out of the game. So is it something where he needs to go down to the minors and try to get better? But the thing is, like,
I feel like David Bell probably knows that answer better than we do. But I think we all have to agree that something. I mean, but like I'm saying, you could play the game of who are we gonna replace him with? You know, I don't know if anyone else can be better. Well, it's like Luke Weaver sucks. I mean, you do. So I'm kind of I'll dance with the devil I don't rather than the devil I know at this point because I know this guy sucks. So this other guy could come in. Sure, he might suck too, but hey, at least we tried. I mean, because Luke Weaver's had so many chances. Luke Weaver's had as many chances as I think Brandon Williamson has because Brandon Williamson was getting a lot of the same crap, but Brandon Williamson's better. So that's my point. It's where it's like Brandon Williamson kind of turned it around. No, I don't think he's an ace but he's definitely pitching a lot better to where I think he definitely still belongs in our starting rotation right now in its current situation. But Luke Weaver, he hasn't. I mean, he's had more than enough shots. So Luke Weaver I'm not saying that he's a complete lost cause, but I'm saying he needs something.
Yeah,
He needs something. I don't know what it is, but he needs something. I can tell you that.
I don't know what it is, and I don't know other than Connor in the minors. I don't know who else you bring up, and that's kind of where you, in my mind.
Well, the good thing is the All-Star break.
It's the All-Star break, yeah, and Hunter Green and Lodolo will be back by August. You still got.
Well, I don't know. They keep pushing. They keep pushing them. Like
right,
closer and closer and closer.
Maybe it's sooner.
It's crazy. They were like, "Oh, out for the season. Oh, well, maybe he'll be back. September. Oh, now we're talking August, beginning of August. I mean, they say every week we just keep hearing better and better news. So I don't know if they're like withholding some stuff. But
that's the thing. I think they're waiting for. They're trying to bandage this starting staff until those two come back. In my opinion, they're trying to hold off and see what they have. Because I mean, let's look, Chandler. Those two come back. They have. I mean, Lodolo hasn't pitched since April, beginning of May. Hunter Green has had. He's been since June, beginning of June. So those guys, when they come back, they're going to be fresh. And if they pitch like they can, that's like trading for two starting pitchers. So I mean, it's huge that these guys come back for the Reds because everyone wants us to trade for somebody. We might not have to because we got these two guys coming back.
I mean, I've been on that train for a while. I mean, and I'm still there. Where, I mean, you really don't have to. Maybe bring him out to the bullpen.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I just don't know who do you replace him right now. Right now, who do you start instead of him? I mean, I don't know if anybody.
I mean, anyone. Give someone a shot. I mean, that's my opinion. But I mean, fuck it. Put Jabot up in a starting rotation. Let's have Jabot. Let's have Jabot start. I'm like, just put anyone up there, like, because we have give someone a shot. I mean, because it's like Luke Weaver comes up and we know what's going to happen. He's going to let 7-8 runs get on the board and then we're going to win. So I don't know. Maybe you just want to keep him because I mean, it's the same story. We know what we're getting with him. He's going to suck and we're going to win somehow.
But Jabot, there's two sides to every Jabot. There's a good Jabot and a bad Jabot. Today we had a good Jabot.
Well, there's only one side of every Weaver, and it's he sucks. So I mean,
but I don't think Jabot is the answer for starting pitchers. I'm like,
No, I'm messing around with that.
Because every time he comes out, I'm like, I don't know.
But about the starting rotation, I mean, you're right. Once we have our fully healthy starting rotation right now, which I mean, that's a lot to say too. Fully healthy, because who's to say Abbott or Ashcraft or Williamson, like one of those guys, aren't going to get injured. I mean, it's baseball. It's pitchers. We're getting deep in the season. A lot of these guys have had a lot of innings. I mean, that's what happens. You get injured. So if they all stay healthy and we get our other guys back, then we're going to have a starting rotation of Andrew Abbott as the ace, Hunter Green right up behind him. Then you have Lodolo, based on how good he is coming back, him, and then Ashcraft, or maybe Ashcraft, then him. It all depends. Yeah. And I mean, I think your solid five's Williamson. I mean, he's on an upward trajectory here. He's putting up some good games. I feel like he just keeps getting better and better. And who knows, by then he might have a legitimate claim to it. Maybe he'll hop up above Ashcraft. We'll have to see how Ashcraft keeps pitching. But
he struggled last game, but he got the win. So I mean, he
struggled-ish. I mean, but to be honest, that's a good team, and at a certain point, I mean, you can't really expect everyone to be lights out against.
Brad says trade Weaver for another shortstop that can play anywhere.
I think we have enough shortstops. Which that brings me to my other point, where I was trying to segue with that whole talk about the starting rotation.
The Shohei Ohtani trade.
We'll get to Shohei, but
all right, you got another one? All right, we got.
Well, not really. Just an overall discussion about it.
All right, we got.
Because look, right now the Reds are in a spot where if the starting pitching stays healthy, it looks pretty good there. It does, right. And we're at a point where we don't want to bring CES up because no one on this lineup deserves to be sent down to the minors. I mean, they keep sending Stuart Fairchild down. And
we love Stuart Fairchild.
I mean, that dude is solid. I mean, he's absolutely solid. He is a killer in the outfield. He puts the work in, and he gets on base. I mean, no, he's not an absolute, slugger or anything, but, I mean, the guy is a solid bench player. If we have to have him on the bench and he's coming in and out every so often, give guys breaks. I mean, I'm not upset about it. I love Stuart Fairchild. But we're at a point where, I mean, we have that. And then we have like 3-4 guys that everyone keeps talking about in the minors. And like half of them are shortstops. And I mean, we already don't have anywhere for them to go. So we're coming to this trade deadline. You have an abundance of talent. We have too much talent because all these guys have hit. We've had all these guys hit, and we know they all play well together. So what do we want out of bringing CES up here? What do we want out of bringing Arroyo up here? What do we want about bringing Marte up here? I mean, because honestly, I don't know where they're even going to get slotted in at. And I don't even know if they're going to help the team all that much. Because honestly, the odds that those 3 guys also hit on top of all these guys we already have up here hitting, it's freaking impossible, dude. I mean, sure, it might happen.
It's impossible what's happened already. So
it might happen, sure. But when you have that, and we really don't have anywhere to go with them. We don't have starting pitching. We don't have any crazy starting pitching talent coming up from the minors. We have way too many shortstops. So what does that tell you? We have too many good shortstops and not enough starting pitching. So you trade for. I mean, you get rid of this abundance of talent and go to this.
Who are you thinking about trading for?
Well, you could do a lot of different starting pitchers, depending on how the deal works out. But I've specifically talked about Shohei Ohtani.
No,
because you know what? I didn't even think the Reds were part of this at all until I think it was Sports Center. All I saw was the graphic on Twitter.
Major MLB Network.
MLB Network. Yeah. They put the graphic up there saying the Reds were like a potential landing spot for Shohei. I laughed at it at first, and then about 24 hours later, I'm like, you know what? It kind of makes sense. And I've been convincing myself that if Nick Kroll isn't making calls out to LA trying to figure this thing out, if he's not at least like talking to him about it, then he's a freaking idiot. Because and I know he's not an idiot, so I know he's at least talking to him.
Right.
But like, because like I said, Shohei wants to leave the Angels because they aren't competitive in the playoffs. He wants to win a ring.
They haven't made the playoffs yet since he's been there.
And you put yourself in Shohei's shoes right now. You're looking around the league, and you're like, where could he go? If he really wanted to like win a World Series, be on a team that's going to be good for a while. Where else is there? I mean, you could say he wants to go on the Braves. Sure. Okay. But the Braves don't have the next thing that the Reds do. We aren't paying anyone right now. We're paying more people who aren't on the team. Right. I mean, we have Votto's contract coming up, and he's not going to get the same amount of money. If he does re-sign with us, it's not going to be the same amount of money. And that's if he does resign. He might retire.
Junior, we're playing Moustakas and Will, the guy we just released.
Will Myers.
So,
like, Votto's contract's off the books. I think we're done paying Griffey next year. So okay. I mean, we'll have a lot of cash available, and we don't have to sign any of these guys that we have. Like all these rookies, we don't have to sign any of them for years. I mean, they're under rookie contracts for a while. Yeah, 5 years. But I mean, ideally, you want to sign before then. But yeah. I mean, 5 years at the max.
Yeah.
And I mean, you just look at it. Shohei just fits perfectly in a need that we have because he plays two positions. He plays DH and he pitches. We need that starting pitching, and he is one of the best starters in the league. I mean, there's no doubt one of the best starters in the league. That'd be insane. Just to even have him never touch a bat would be great to have. And then on top of that, hold on. On top of that, we haven't had. I think the DH spot has just been used this year on our team. Kind of. Well, here I'll go into that. I'll address that. The DH spot this year for us has just been kind of passed around to different guys who just have an off day.
I need to get a drink. I'll let you make your point. I've heard this already.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go get a drink. You keep talking. I'll be back.
You pass it off to Tyler Stevenson. You pass it off to India. Pass it off to whoever. But ultimately, if you have Shohei Ohtani, he's going in there every day. So he fits our needs perfectly. The best hitter in baseball right now. I don't think that's disputable. And one of the best starters. So he fits that perfectly. Now let's talk about not getting rid of the farm system. Again, we have 3 guys who are in AAA who are basically all ready to come up here this year. Like it's kind of no doubt they're going to be ready to be up here this year. We don't want to keep them down there any longer than they should. They don't even deserve that. But if they're ready to go, they need to come up to the majors. Or you actually could start to lose them. I mean, if you have a guy that's like peaking, he's ready to go in the majors, and you keep him down there because you don't have a spot for him, the guy's going to start sucking. I mean, that kills morale, and that can kill careers. You want to pull guys up. Once they're ready, they need to come up. And we have CES, arguably he's already ready. You have Marte, not too far behind, and Arroyo. I know they both just got caught up, Arroyo and Marte. But like I said, give it a couple months, and they're going to be ready. So you look at this, and you say, so let's say we give up all 3 of those guys, that we literally have nowhere to put them, absolutely nothing to do. And if
I wouldn't give all 3 of them. I might give up 2 of them.
Maybe two. But honestly, I'm even arguing that if we have to give up 3, what are you going to do with the other guy? What are you going to do with this third guy? Are you going to keep him down there until next year? Because who's to say he's going to be the same guy next year?
Let's just say we give up all 3. Now, you've been one who said to trade Jonathan India. If you give up all 3, you're not trading Jonathan India. You are either keeping Elly at shortstop or at third, or you're moving India to third. That's the one thing that would affect that. So that's why I'm not giving up all 3. I might give up 2 of them for Shogun. But the thing is,
no, I think you give up. I mean,
I want to.
Obviously, it would be great. It would be great to only give up 2, but I think you have to give up 3 to actually get them to bite on it.
I don't know about that. It's still a rental contract.
It is.
Unless they can sign him.
But like I said, we have the money. Let's be real here. Let's be real here. If we traded that much for Shohei, we're gonna sign the guy. I mean, they're not only gonna do that.
Usually baseball contract, they don't let you talk to them before you trade for them, and I am not willing to get unless we get a guarantee.
It's true, but they'll be very, very willing to work with him, and they're the first people to talk to him because we'll have his contract. No one else will be able to talk to him, so we can just get that nailed down right away. And also, I'm not talking 10 years. I don't want to pay Shohei for 10 years. I'm even talking 2-3 years.
I know you keep saying 2. I don't think he'd sign for 2. I think he wants 4 to 5. I think 4 would be the lowest you can get him for.
I don't know, because I think he's a very durable player. I think he knows that he's a durable player, and you can make more money by taking like smaller time span deals for more than a super elongated deal for less. I mean, a lot of people take those 10-year deals because you're like, oh, I don't know, I could start sucking, or I could get hurt, and this and that. I want the guaranteed money.
I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
Now, let's get to Jared's. He made a couple comments here. He said, Arroyo, Marte are next year. CES is now, but why would you give up any stack or stay on track and flip for controllable arms? And then he says, or you don't trade him. Or you don't trade for him and you do a Braves type look up our core, which all right. So for me, our core right now is Steer, CES, and McLean, and our 3 or 4 pitchers. That's your core. Those guys, to me right now, you need to keep most of them. So if you're going to pay these guys and sign them, you can't keep everybody. So that's where you're at. It's like that's where you got to figure out which ones you're going to keep, which ones you're not. And that's where Chandler's like, we can't keep everybody. So you could trade some of these guys, get Shohei, keep him under contract, and keep these guys all, hopefully in a low budget, because Shohei said he wants to win, so he might take less money.
I mean, and here's the other thing is like CES is now, and I was on that train for a while. Like, all right, let's get CES up here. But who are you going to send down? because you don't want to send down Nick Senzel because the dude just freaking won the game.
That's easy. You're getting rid of one of the catcher. You're getting rid of Kirk Casale.
You know what? It could be to DFA Kirk Casale. That's right.
That's the move.
That's right.
And that might happen during the All-Star break.
But the other thing is, sure, you might have a spot on the roster for him, but do you have a spot in the lineup for him? I mean, because who's going to get less playing time?
See, that's the thing is, I don't think.
Who are we going to give less playing time? And do you really want a rookie to just come in and DH all the time?
Yes, when he play as good as I think he can be. Now listen, this is where you may have this conversation. You get rid of Kirk Casale. You have Tyler Stevenson catch all the time, which he's doing right now. He's a catcher, and you have Votto and CES flip back and forth between first and DH, or and you move guys around like you've been doing. All you're doing is you're taking out Casale, who's not playing right now. He's literally not playing. And you have CES, DH, and he can play first base. He can play third base. He's played in the outfield. I don't know how well that's went, but he can play different positions. So the way David Bell likes to mix and match players and the way these guys move around positions, I think you can get enough at-bats for CES. So the whole narrative where there's no spot for him, I don't believe that. There is a spot for him. It's Kirk Casale's spot, and you got to get rid of him. That's because when was the last time Kirk Casale even played?
I mean, the other thing too for me is that it's like, yeah, I could say where do you have a spot for him? But yeah, there you go. Yeah, CS defense isn't good. DH.
Yeah, that's why he's a DH, but which is fine.
But here's the thing with it: it's not even just do you have a spot on the if it's not broken, don't fix it. But to kind of build on that, it's like right now. What's the weakness of the Reds right now? Because I can tell you right now, it's not that they're struggling to put up runs.
Jonathan India batting third.
Well, that's part of it, but it's not that they're struggling to put up runs. That's far from the problem. The problem is the other team's putting up too many runs. I mean, we're in the highest scoring games, and like, do you look at the over unders on scores? Look at Vegas. Literally, anytime the Reds are playing, the over under is just higher than any other game. We put up it's starting pitching. Mm-hmm. So I'm completely okay with trading two.
Not three.
That's
two.
Not. Well, if we're not talking about Shohei, then I think sure two. We can trade two of these guys who we don't even need for some starting pitching. And to be honest, you might have to give up more than two for starting pitching. I mean, it is so hard to find.
I don't think they would have to give more than two because these guys are elite, top tier minor leaguers. That
not elite, not
they are. They're in your top 10, top 15. They're almost can't miss guys, and that's what if you're a trading team that's trying to add.
All three aren't.
Look at Spencer Steer. That's what we got last year. Look we got for Luis Castillo. That's what we got. That's what the Angels are looking for, and we have a plethora of that. So I'm not saying I would not trade all three of them, but I'll just put it this way: when you and me were talking about this after the movie today, and I started thinking about it. Just think of this batting order: take out Jonathan India, move him down to 6, put Shohei at 3rd. You have TJ Friedel, Matty Bats, Shohei, Elly, Votto, Rick Fraley, Steer, then India, then Benson, then Tyler Stevenson. Get the hell out of here.
Because this is the other problem I have when people say don't sell out the farm. Like, we don't want to kill our farm system. Like, we're talking about 3 guys. There's the
Bob wants to know what 2.
Which of the 2? I'm saying take whoever you want. Tell the Angels, hey, whoever 2 you want. I don't care. We'll keep the other guy.
I'd say right now it's the 2 they'd want be CES and Morte. That'd be the 2.
I would say probably. I'd probably say we would want to keep CES because we want a guy that's like.
I would rather trade those 2. I would rather trade those 2, or I don't want to trade Connor. I don't want to trade starting pitching. We need that. So that's where I'm not trading him.
So, but this is the thing about not selling out the farm system. As I hear that a lot, people say, "Oh, we don't want to make those mistakes. Don't want to do that." Dude, are 3 people our farm system? 3 guys who are ready to come up now, or maybe not now, but one guy is. One guy's ready to come up now. That's our whole farm system. We trade 3 guys. Farm's blown up. Like, no, it's not. I mean, what? Because if we call them all up here, like next year, Is the farm system dead? Because there's no one left. I mean, it's a bad take. I mean, it's not we're trading everyone. Like what, you get rid of 3 of them. You get rid of 3 of them, and then hold on. Here's the other thing. The issue with your farm system blowing up is when you lose guys, because like you got to let them go because you can't sign them. You lose guys. You need guys in your farm system to come back and pick up the slack, right? That's the thought behind it. We're not going to lose the large majority of our like top 9 guys, like our main starters. We're not going to lose any of them for 5 years. I mean, like most of them, they're all freaking rookies, guys. We don't need anyone in the farm system for 5 years. These guys are set. We know they all hit. So like, I'll blow up the farm system for 5 years because like ideally we won't need them for a while. I might be exaggerating for 5, but let's have the farm system suck for 3 years. And then 4th year, all right, now we started building up guys because we've had the time to draft and not trade draft picks. But I mean, what are we going to do with guys right now?
The starting 9 they had today: Will Benson, rookie; TJ.
I mean, this is like the perfect starting 9.
Second-year player. Jake Fraley, second-year player. Steer, rookie. Elly, rookie. Matt McLean, rookie. Jonathan India is an older one, and he's probably not going to be around very long. Yeah, Votto, we know about Votto. Tyler Stevenson, what, 3rd year, 4th year? I mean, your oldest guys, other than Votto, is Jonathan India and Tyler Stevenson. I mean, our pitching staff, the ones we're counting on, Green's, 3rd year? Lodolo's 3rd year. Ashcraft's his 2nd year. Abbott's a freaking rookie. I mean, you're right. We're not losing these guys. They're not going to trade these guys. That's why it's like.
So, I mean, am I completely wrong in saying we can.
Hold on. I'm going to give you some credit here. Hold on a second. That's what I said. You started to talk me into this. That's right. First, I'm agreeing with a lot of people in the chat. I don't want to blow the farm system up. Well, the way they've been drafting and developing players, there are guys that are in single A, double A that are going to come up. And if you have a chance to get a guy like Shohei, which I have no idea if the Reds can do it or not. I hope so.
I mean, we're all just picking at straws here. We just want Shohei. I mean, I'm just hyping myself up.
But if you have a chance to get a guy who is the best player probably ever. I mean, I'll put it out there. Shohei Ohtani is probably the best player ever.
Unless his career gets cut short, this guy is going to go down in history as the best baseball player ever.
He can be a 20-game winner. He can hit you 40 freaking home runs. That doesn't come around ever. I mean, it's like Elly De La Cruz. You can have Elly De La Cruz.
It's like when people pretend Babe Ruth was.
Yeah, you have Elly De La Cruz and Shohei Ohtani on the same damn team. I mean, like I said, I'd hate to give up those 2 guys and only have Shohei, for half a season. But if you do that and we win a World Series, is it worth it? Because if you get Shohei,
and that's even saying that we don't sign him. Even on that's even going through the scenario of if we don't sign him. That's just saying we keep him for half a year. And even then, I'm like, it still might be worth it, man. It really still might be worth it. I mean, it is. It's so. I mean, because literally next year, who are we losing? Like if we blow up the farm system again for this year, let's work on a hypothetical. All 3 of those guys go on a trade for Shohei Ohtani. We get Shohei for a year. Let's say we win the World Series, okay? World Series champions, but we lose Shohei. We lost that, and we go into next year, right?
Still got a good team.
And we go into next year, fresh off a World Series win, and we have no one ready in the farm system to come up. We don't have anyone ready to start because we traded them all. No, that's fair. But then you give that whole year for more of our development to start. For more of our.
Rob Maloney says India, Fraley, Votto, and Senzel all can move on next couple of years. Okay. I mean, none of those guys are going to just. I mean, Fraley. I mean, I thought he was a 2nd-year guy. I may be wrong, but none of those guys are. Oh my God, we're going to be. I mean, India. We all I think agree with. He doesn't need to bat in the 3rd hole. Fraley, who's playing awesome. That's the one that hurt. Votto is 39 years old. I love Votto. Senzel.
Votto's playing lights out.
Yeah, Senzel.
But Votto's not retired.
Healthy his entire career. So really, other than Fraley, none of these guys, I'd be like, oh my God, we can't deal without these guys.
But again, is CES, is Marte, is Arroyo, are any of those 3 actually going to replace any of those guys? I mean, none of those. If we don't trade anyone, those guys' contracts aren't going to be up.
If you put Marte at shortstop, then you can move Elly out to the outfield.
Well, yeah, no, I'm saying that's true. I'm saying that, but I'm saying timeline-wise, if we don't trade anyone, we keep all those guys. The only guy we're losing next year is Votto. I think everyone else will still be on contract next year.
Yeah.
So okay, what you got to bring CES up. Are you going to keep Marte? You're going to keep Arroyo? You're going to keep them down in the minors next year? Because we got nowhere to put them. We still have the same damn team. That's my point. You're gonna have. We have so much in the farm system right now. Like that's what we don't understand. Like that's what I think the fan base doesn't understand. We have so much in the farm system that we have so much that is over here. It is like shortstops. It is infielders. It is batters, and we have like nothing here. So just take a little off the top. Just do it. We're not trading 10 guys to the Angels. We're not blowing it up. Yeah. Like
Brad here says, I believe they can work on the contract before trading him. But if we did lose him after the year, we get draft picks. Yeah, we get draft picks. Which I mean, but the thing is though, just and I've changed my mind.
You know how many tickets we would sell with Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah. Well, we're talking how many tickets we're selling with Elly right now. I've changed my mind. When this run first started, I'm like, let's just let the young guys cook, which I still am like that. But what we're talking about, we're not talking about trading anybody off the current major league roster. It's guys who are not on this team or not contributing. If you can add a guy like Shohei Ohtani and you have him batting third and he's your ace pitcher, that is a game changer. And I know Jared says we got to talk about winning playoff series before we talk about winning World Series. But
that's what everyone told me about the Bengals.
You have Hunter Green, you have Lodolo, you have Ashcraft, and you have Abbott. That's 5 freaking pitchers. That's the best staff that I have ever seen the Reds have in my entire freaking life.
You know, about that comment about let's worry about winning a playoffs before a World Series. Look. This I was waiting for something like this to come up because this reminds me of something. It was like right after Bengal Jim had won Fan of the Year, right? Yep. He had those Super Bowl tickets, and I forget what game it was, but I know he came down to the field. We were all like came down by us 158. Or no, he's already there, but we were next to him 158. We're all celebrating, and we were talking to him and I was like, dude, like you're going to the Super Bowl this year. Like, how cool would it be if that's the Bengals? I'm like, it might be the Bengals. And he's like, oh, well, that'd be awesome. But, I think we just need to worry about winning a playoff game. And he freaking went when we were in the Super Bowl. I'm like, that's what happened. Everyone's like, you can't turn around like that. I mean, look, the Bengals, they were good, but you can't just turn it around and go win a Super Bowl. Everyone said that. This is like going down that same line. I'm not saying that because this all seems similar, you should all go place your bets that the Reds are going to go win a World Series. But I'm saying that making it seem like it can't happen is ridiculous because we all just saw it freaking happen 2 years ago. It can totally happen. It's not out of the question to start talking about that. And you're telling me this lineup with Shohei Ohtani is not a World Series lineup? I mean, that is a lineup hands down better than the Braves. 100%.
Jaron says if they are good, if they are on, that's our issue.
So hold on.
They've been on a hell of a lot here. What have they been off?
I wanted to talk.
Won 12 in a row. They lost against the Brewers last night, and now they just came back and won. They won 5 in a row. What are they? They've been on more than they've been off. So
no, I want to talk about this too. I think that a lot of people are in Cincinnati sports. I don't know if a lot of people just aren't really baseball fans and coming around to it, or people are just so used to the Bengals. But I think people don't realize in baseball you lose a lot of games. I mean, you lose a lot. We lost 100 games last year. Like the Bengals, the most they could win 17, and that's not anywhere near 100, and that would be a terrible season. But in baseball, you lose a lot of games, and so what can happen?
Jared, that's what we're talking about. That's why you get Shohei. You're making our points. That's why you get him.
But
sorry, guys.
So, gosh, where was I at? What was I just saying?
Bengals won 17 games.
Yeah. So the thing about this team that is just so mind-blowing is it's not just that they went on this 12-game they went on this 12-game win streak, and they had a heartbreaking loss. Now, again, I feel like a lot of people don't watch a ton of baseball. I think a lot of people are getting into it. But normally, after a 12-game win streak and a heartbreaking loss like that, you just suck. I mean, that's just you suck for a while. It normally follows with a losing streak. But this team will have a heartbreaker of a loss and just come back the next day and just hit 2 home runs out of the – like yesterday, heartbreaker loss. Today, they just come in, he'll hit 2 home runs. Luke Weaver had a heartbreaking start. Like a heartbreaking start, and they just keep winning. They keep hitting runs. So when I hear stuff like, "Oh, I don't know," they just let things get to them. Literally, they're the definition of they just don't give a shit. They just hit home runs. They just don't care.
Jared says Shohei's not a mentor. That's why you don't trade for one of the best.
So now I was gonna address this kind of, because like going on the whole idea of like it's kind of on the same thread of people were saying Votto was gonna mess up the mojo of the
my God, that
room.
was such a
people are saying that. All right, and you can go back on Twitter. I think it was Cincy James said something about it. He was on the good side for it, but I commented on that. I'm like, I just don't understand why people think one of the most outstanding dudes ever. I just think Joey. Not even. I'm saying personally. I'm saying personally, everything I've ever seen about Joey Votto, this dude is solid as hell. I think he has the biggest heart out of anyone who I've ever seen play a sport. I mean, this guy is just awesome. He just seems like a great time and is always supportive. I'm like, you're telling me that guy's going to mess up the team chemistry? And honestly, all he's done is absolutely excelled it. And just helping guys mentor. We talked about Will Benson. That was honestly great. So we'll talk about Shohei. Sure, the guy might not even speak that great of English. I'm not telling you that he's going to instantly come out here and be everyone's friend. But what I am telling you is if you think that this team is out here and they are just in love with Luke Weaver and they're like, I don't want Shohei out here. I'd rather keep Luke Weaver here to keep that messing me up every game. No. This team, the chemistry is not going to come down because Shohei Ohtani is pitching lights out, no hits. Let's say he hits a no-hitter, fucking hits 2 home runs, and they're like, oh, but you know what? He just doesn't vibe with us. They don't give a fuck, dude. That's not going to mess with them at all.
Okay, Shohei Ohtani is younger than all of these guys. Can you read what he's saying? He wants
Verlander.
Max Verlander. Greg. Verlander is not having a very good season. Mad Max is not having a very good season. Greinke's not having a very good season. Shohei Ohtani is literally top 5 pitcher in the league. He right now is better than all those guys. Yes, they have won more than he has. You are correct. But if I'm going on a young team, I would like to have a younger starting pitcher who can dominate.
I mean, I don't know if anyone understands this too. There's people probably noticed, again, if you're just not getting into baseball, welcome. Great to have you. But there, I don't know if you've seen, because you've probably seen some baseball in a while, and you've probably seen this new thing called the sweeper. You're like, what the hell is this thing called the sweeper? That's weird. I've never seen this pitch before. And it's basically a slider with an incredible amount of horizontal break. Hold on. It's an incredible amount of it's an incredible amount of it's an incredible amount of horizontal break. Okay. The guy who invented that pitch is Shohei Ohtani.
Yep. The sweeper.
Yeah. Okay. He's been teaching people how to throw it.
He said that's the point. You can buy low, but they're not pitching good. Why would you trade some of your best prospects for guys who aren't pitching good and are at the end of their career?
Normally,
doesn't make any sense. I love you, Jared. I'm glad you're surrounded. But that doesn't make any sense,
normally when you see, I get the buy low. And I can understand
if they're good, but they were good 5 years ago, not now.
No.
That's the reason the Mets suck.
No, I think what it is I get the buy low when the guy is in his 3rd year of his career, and you're like, you know what, he had a really promising start, and now he's kind of low. We could buy into him, and he still might have a bright future. We can help him work around. And you know what? Same thing.
Our best prospects are playing in the major league level.
I think
They're
so.
our best prospect. If CES and Morte,
How do we know?
They'd be up here.
They just aren't. They're
There's no place
not
for them
there.
to go.
But
Sorry,
where was I at? Gosh,
I don't know.
You
You keep talking. I'm having an argument with Jared. You think about it. I'll read baloney here. You guys are getting infatuated with Ohtani's good season, and you're ready to mortgage the entire farm system. 2 guys is not the entire farm system.
Or the three. I mean, I've said this whole time explaining.
You guys
to
got to look at the minor league. There's lots of guys they have coming up, and
I just feel like
all these guys to hit. Hold on a second. For all these guys to hit, like we had the four guys hit, like we had this year, is slim to none. What we have right now is a lottery ticket. This doesn't happen. You don't have 4 guys come up and play like they have. That doesn't happen.
It doesn't. And to be honest, anytime I see, when I see people say like, oh, we're gonna get rid of the whole farm system, we're gonna do this, that. Whenever I see that, it's like I just feel like it's regurgitating the just whatever you see online. I feel like it's just like, oh, I see people saying that's the whole farm, but like, dude, the farm system is a
really
lot
good.
more. Well, our whole farm system's good, and honestly, when you talk about the farm system too, when you talk about the farm system, that doesn't necessarily even just mean the players. That means the coaches. That means the pitching coaches. That means the managers. That means
actually
everybody.
CES is not blocked by Votto. CES is blocked by Kirk Casale. And yes, you're right. Morte just got the AAA. That's why. But say come up next year, where's he going to play? The point is,
I mean, like Marte just got up to AAA, but you know, Elly only spent 2 months in AAA.
Yeah,
so that's my point. Is like, I mean, if he is this good, everyone's telling me Marte is going to hit. Everyone keeps saying Arroyo's going to hit, CS is going to hit. If they're all going to hit, then they're going to be ready in 2 months, just like Elly De La Cruz. And then what are we going to do with them? I mean, what? They're so great. What are we going to do with them?
And the potential to get the best player ever is Shohei, which I have no idea if this is going to happen. We're just talking. I'm
the
best player ever who is a 20-game winner, could be your ace and your best power hitter in the same damn player. You're not willing to give up 2 guys that you don't know if they're going to. I mean, I think they're going to be good. I'm pretty sure they're going to be good.
I'm not pretty sure. I have no idea. You have no idea if someone's going to be good.
I totally changed my mind. I'm willing to do it. I hope we can sign Shohei. And like I said, I don't know if this is going to happen. I have no idea. It's probably not. But it's fun to talk about.
You know, I feel like if
oh my God, we can't do that. It's going to ruin everything. We literally have 4 guys that came up that are playing unbelievable. The chances of that happening again is like 1,000 to 1. I've been a Reds fan for 48 years. I've never seen this many rookies come up in one season and make this much of an impact ever.
I mean, look, let's talk about Nick Senzel was supposed to be one of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was. We all thought Nick Senzel was gonna be awesome, and the dude's been hurt so much, and he's a bench player right now, and you know that could just as easily be all these other guys. I think the only reason Reds fans are acting.
He agrees with it. He just got on. He didn't know we were talking about Shohei. Yes, that's what we're talking about. Shohei. I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about the best freaking player in baseball, Shohei. That's the only guy I do this for. I'm not talking about anybody else. Shohei.
Because I think if the Reds hadn't just hit on 4 guys like they did, if that didn't just happen this year, I think that right now, Dad, everyone would be in totally agreement with us. So I absolutely no brainer go for the guy, because everyone knows that it's not a sure thing that a guy is going to be great in the minors and is just going to be absolutely insane in the majors. Let's be honest here, guys. Most of again, what I just said, if a guy's killing it in the minors, that doesn't mean he's going to kill it in the majors.
And to be honest, and they haven't brought him up, so most of our place for him.
Most of our guys right now, Elly De La Cruz is playing better in the majors than he did in the minors. He's literally playing better. That doesn't happen.
Here, Jared wrote a paragraph here. Let's see here. I'm not trying to laugh at you. I'm just cracking when people write this much. Vet like Verlander and Mad Max, they are playoff experience, and you know what they are capable of, but they both are not pitching very good this year. They both Shohei is pitching better, just my comment. The Mets are a bad team. Change of scenery could change that and get them for a lower price than Ohtani. You're right, but they're not as good as Ohtani. Think about this. You get great pitchers. I don't know if they're great or they were great. You keep saying they're great right now. I don't know if they're great right now. Right now, they're not. Great pitchers who you are banking on bouncing back, and you get a pitcher who can mentor Green, Lodolo, Ashcraft, Diaz, etc. They would be another coach that can produce. They also would demand a lower trade package than Ohtani, and you can still keep your prospects. I agree with all what you said there, except for they're not Shohei Ohtani. I don't know if the thing is, all right, cool. You could trade Senzel, you could trade Barrero, and you possibly could get one of those guys. And you are hoping that change of scenery, that they can bounce back to where they are. They're almost 40 years old. Actually, I think Verlander is 40. Shohei Ohtani is in his 20s. He is the best player in baseball. And why couldn't he mentor these guys? He, like Sharon just said, he's literally teaching guys a new freaking pitch in baseball. So you don't think he could teach?
And people are figuring it out too. Most people are just figuring it out.
The guy invented, you don't think he could teach it to Green, to Lodolo, to Ashcraft?
But here's the thing too. I don't just if it came out that the Reds actually just went and got Justin Verlander instead of Shohei Ohtani, I'm not going to be upset.
That's why I don't understand why everyone's
That's true. But I'm not going to be upset by it.
No,
I mean, if we don't have to trade, if it was like CES straight up for Verlander, I'd be absolutely cool with it.
I wouldn't.
I'd be like, okay,
that one I wouldn't.
Let's do it.
Because Verlander hasn't pitched that good, and he's freaking 40.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. But I agree with what he's saying. I mean, I do. I'm sympathetic to that idea. My only thing is, I'm just arguing that is not.
Okay, cake and eat it too. Because I'm looking at the reality of how Verlander is pitching and how these guys are pitching.
Dad, you might need to calm down a minute, because I don't think what he's saying is crazy. I mean, that is
not crazy.
That is a good idea. I'm just saying I don't know if it's the best.
I'm saying he would rather do that.
Have a great situation right now.
Are you saying you'd rather do that instead of getting Shohei Ohtani? If you'd rather go get Verlander, and that's where I'm like, there's no way. I'd rather go get Shohei.
And that's fine.
CES, all right. Say we get CES and we get Scherzer or Verlander. I'm okay with it, but I'm not exactly ecstatic. If you give up CES and Marte or somebody else, and you get Shohei, I'm flipping ecstatic.
I mean, look,
we want a 20-year-old guy who can not only be your ace, also can hit home runs and be your 3-hole hitter. Those guys don't provide that.
Let's also say this: someone was talking about like building a core. We want to build a core for the team. If we try, yeah, I know. See,
I don't think that's happening.
Probably not.
Jared, I don't think that's happening.
Probably not. But I'm just throwing stuff out there. Now, if God, where's that? I keep losing my train of thought. Just reading these comments.
10 years. We're not signing him. We're not going to sign him
for
10 years.
Okay, I remember what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You're talking about building a core. You're telling me that if we get a core of
I'm not saying
Ohtani, if we had a core of Ohtani, Elly, Matt McClain, and Hunter Green, I mean, if that's your 4-person core right there, you have 3 stud batters and 2 star pitchers out of 4 people. That's your core.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great core. I mean, honestly, I'm like, we could pretty much lose everyone else and just rotate them out. And that's a nuts core to have to keep together for that long of a time. What if you can afford it and throw another guy in there, like throw Will Benson in there if he keeps it up, throw Spencer Steer in there? I mean, yeah, but that's the thing. If we really don't need to focus on keeping every single one of our players together, we don't need to focus on keeping every single one of our farm system guys. Because the other thing too is once these guys, let's say CES gets called up next week and dude just sucks for the whole month of July. And
which I doubt.
And no, it totally could happen. This happens all the time. Guys get called up into the majors. The majors freaking suck. He could suck the whole month of July. He gets sent back down to the minors. He just takes a nosedive. And you know what? He's worthless now. Happens all the time.
Well, okay. Preface that by Will Benson. All right. I gave up a Will Benson first month of the season. I'm like, all right, I don't think this guy's going to be any
Arguably,
good.
if it wasn't for Joey Votto, I think he probably would still be down the same track.
Yeah, Joey Votto helped him down in the minors. That's why Joey Votto's more important to this team because of like Jared said, mentoring. Joey Votto is the mentor of this team.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you are correct. I mean, CS could come up here and suck. I don't think if that happens, that they would give up on him. I mean, Will Benson, I was completely wrong on him. Beginning of the season, I'm like, dude, this guy can't hit. He has no power.
I was
He
more
can't
meaning
see
in
the
terms
ball.
of trade value. Like as far as like if he sucks and you have to send him back down, no one's going to trade for him. I mean, you just lost all your trade value.
I got it. Okay.
I'm not saying that he could never be a good player, but I'm saying he's worthless in terms of like trading, and that's why you do it.
Well, maybe
now.
not worthless, but his trade value would definitely go down.
I mean, it's basically worthless. A guy that you send to AAA and no one picks off of waivers. Well, I guess he would have a few options, but I mean,
there's no waivers. He just go straight down.
Yeah.
He has options.
Yeah. But that's the thing where I mean, you really just get next to no trade value for him.
All right. Yeah, I saw. I'm not putting his up. I saw it. Sissy Nick, legit tradables. India, Newman, Senzel, Stevenson, Ramones, Marte, Cena, TJ. Would you trade? I'm not trading them. Like you mean for like right now? I'm cool with Newman, Senzel.
The other thing too, do we want to really get rid of Senzel and Newman? But I mean, because are these guys in the minors? Is CS? Are they good at hitting left-handed pitching? Because if we're getting rid of Senzel and Newman, I mean, we're going to start having a real tough time against left-handed pitching.
Yeah,
that's my problem with getting rid of them.
Well, I'm not on board with trading India because I think India. I mean, I think he should be taken out of third hole.
I think India can get out of this slump.
Yeah, I'm not because I just think with this young team, I think he's too much of a leader on this team. During the offseason, yes, potentially. Now, no. Now, Holmes got a question here for us. He says, the real question is, how long will the Reds own the reign of the NL Central? Do you think the Reds will have? Are we talking 1 or 2 decades here? We're talking at least the next 5 years. I would say that, at least that. Because 5 years.
The Cardinals have a good team.
Well, I'm saying that because 5 years, these guys' contracts are going to start coming up.
I don't know. I don't think that we are going to have just dominance for. I don't think we're going to be able to say, oh yeah, we're going to be dominant for 5 years. I think we're going to be for sure contenders to make the playoffs for the next 5 years. Sure.
Okay, let's look at the.
That's like saying the Bengals are like 100% going to win the AFC North this year. I mean, it's saying like. Yeah, right. Like the Ravens are not scrubs, man.
No, they're not scrubs.
You cannot count out.
Right? Hold on. Let's just go through the teams in the NL Central. The Brewers are the ones that are contending with them, and there's a very good chance that this could be the last year that they contend because they might blow it up. The Cubs are still a couple years away. St. Louis is on down. I'll never count out the Tweety Birds because they always figure out a way to do it. And Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. I mean, they might have a good team for about 2 or 3 years, and that's it. The Reds are stacked right now and I keep saying it because of the young pitching. I know it's hurt, but if these guys can work out and pitch like we think they can, that right there alone puts them at the top of this division. That's what has kept the Brewers at the top of this division for the past 3 years. So I don't think it's 1 or 2 decades. I'm going next 5 years at least.
Pitching's huge.
Yeah, pitching's everything in baseball.
It's everything. I mean, you look at what the Tigers did. I mean, obviously it's an extreme scenario, but you can have pitchers come in and you get 1 run on the board. If your pitchers can put up a no-hitter, obviously not going to happen every night, but your
Right.
pitchers can absolutely carry a game. I mean, you could literally do absolutely nothing on offense, squeak in 1 run, and you win a game. I mean, pitching there's just such a big difference. You have 1 guy that can have like a 7-run swing in your starting pitcher. You have your lights out guys like Shohei, who most of his starts are like 0 earned runs for like 7 innings. You have that guy. Or you have Luke Weaver, who if he actually ended up making it 7 innings, would give up like 12. I mean, like 1 guy responsible for that many runs on the board. That doesn't happen on offense. It doesn't.
I have to agree.
Pitching is so important.
I have to agree with Cincy Nick here. So we have to extend Elly Abbott early like the Braves did and give them extension or instant security, which I think that's the Reds' plan because if you look at what they did with Hunter Green, that's what I think they're going to do. They're not going to do it for everybody, So like you say, you got to pick.
I think they're also going to wait as long as they did for Hunter Green.
Yeah, because I mean, these
They
guys
won't do
just
it
came
till
up. Yeah, you don't have to
next year.
you don't have to do anything for at least 2 years, at least. Because I don't think they hit, I think it's third year. I think they're arbitration eligible. I wish Chad Dotson or somebody who knows more about all that stuff would join the show. I sent him a link, but he hasn't. But I think that we're at least 3 years from that happening. So I think you're more likely next year to the year after that they got to extend somebody. Now the thing is, what I don't want them to do is so we had this same scenario back in the day with Homer Bailey and Johnny Cueto, and from what I understand, they gave them both basically the same contract, and whoever signed first got it. Homer signed first,
which is the dumbest way to have a contract.
Right. That's where it's like you. That's
it's
where
like
I
playing
think,
eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Right. That's where I think these guys. I think Nick Kroll and them already have a plan, and they are going to go. All right, we're signing you, and we're signing you, and we're signing you. You know, they know they point out the guys that they want, and they're going to try to sign them. Now, if they can, it depends on the player and the agent. But that's where I think it's not going to be. All right, we'll give you this money. You two got the same contract. Whoever signs first gets it. I don't think they're doing that this time around.
I mean, there's the extent of like wanting to okay, our GM's had a lot of good current GM's had a lot of good hits. He's been doing a lot of good stuff. But I want to preface that I mean just a couple years of good stuff doesn't mean that it's always going to be great. I mean, I keep making analogies to the Bengals, but I know a lot of people here like focus on the Bengals. But you think about like, God, what's his name? GM for the Bengals. Everyone was giving him so much props. Yeah, Nick Tobin.
They were giving actually, technically, the GM is still Mike Brown.
But
we know Nick Tobin.
They were giving him so much props for like being able to get these guys in the second round, and they just turned out to be stud starters for us. You know, T. Higgins. But the last 2 years, I mean, well, I guess we really haven't seen how this year works out. But last year
was pretty good.
I don't know. I don't think our second rounders are going to hit like T. Higgins. I mean, like you can't say
that was a fifth rounder, fourth rounder. That was pretty good.
Cam Taylor-Britt was good. I'm just saying you can't just expect that we're going to keep getting Elly De La Cruz and we're going to keep getting Spencer Steer and we're going to keep getting.
And that's my point. Yeah, that's the point we're saying.
You can't have that happen all the time.
Right. That's what the point we're saying with the Reds minor league. I mean, I've never seen them hit. I can say it's 4 of them. They hit on all 4 of them. All 4 of them are not just good. They're elite all-star level players. Elly, Steer, McLean, Abbott. All 4 of them are elite all-star players. And I don't see. I mean,
to be honest, Benson's kind of sliding in that conversation too. I mean,
then lower tier, you got Benson, you got TJ Frito, you got Fraley.
I mean, if Benson started off the year the way he's playing now, he is absolutely in this list, and if not, maybe the absolute top of the list. I mean, if he started his year how he's playing right now, he would absolutely be at the top of that list. Hands down.
Cincy Nix there says the only reason Burrow came to GABP is take BP so he could recruit Elly. Elly could be a wide receiver. I still want to see Elly De La Cruz and Jamar Chase in a race. I want to see who's or T. Higgins.
I think Elly's got him. I really think so. Elly's got him.
All right, Jerry says yes. TJ comes back and he is half of what he was. He will be a big boost. Keep in mind, fellas, this team isn't healthy.
That's what we were talking about at the beginning.
I completely agree with you.
Dude, TJ Antone, if he can come back after 2 Tommy John surgeries, I'm like, that is I wish they gave the Comeback Player of the Year award in the MLB. If you can come back from 2 Tommy John surgeries and you're still the same guy, that doesn't happen. I mean, that just does not happen.
Yeah, TJ Antone, if he can come back and pitch anywhere close to what he can do out of the bullpen.
He's looking good. He's looking good in these videos you keep seeing.
That's just what's exciting about the guys that are on the injury list that are coming back. Hunter Green, Lodolo, TJ. Those 3 right there are like trading for 2 starting pitchers and an elite reliever. If it's a big if they come back and pitch. I mean, it's a bigger if for TJ than it is for Hunter Green or Lodolo. But if those guys come back and pitch good, Chandler, dude. Okay, now see, this is one thing I've said. Now, I've told you about the Atlanta Braves and my disdain for them over the years because they were, when I was a kid, they were in the NL West and they had Maddox and Glavine and Smoltz. And before that, they had Avery. They had 3 guys throughout their whole run, their first run, and that's the reason they kept all 3 of them. That's the reason they were good. We have that right now. We got and we got 4 of them though. We put Abbott in there that are potential.
Not on that caliber.
You didn't know that when they first started.
Well,
you didn't know
that's true, but I'm not saying that you can say right now that we have that.
I think they had the potential.
They have the potential.
That's my.
But we don't have that right
now. No, of course not, because they just started. But the potential is there. That's what's so exciting about this. It's not just Elly. It's not just Matt McClain. It's the pitching that we don't have right now because they're hurt. But when they're healthy, dude, that's 4 really good starters.
I mean, I don't know about really good. I don't know if you can say that like Hunter Green is a really good starter. I think Hunter Green, everything he's shown is promising, but I don't think he's ever really been like a really good starter.
Well, how about this? They come back and you got 2.5 months left in the season. They come back in August. They are going to have a healthy arm. They haven't pitched in 2 months. That's going to help them right there. Just not having the grind the whole season.
It will help. It could help, but it could also hurt them. I mean, there's a lot of you haven't pitched in a major league game in a few months.
Yeah, but you know how to pitch in a major league game.
That's true, but sometimes, baseball, sometimes things throw off guys. And let's be honest, Nick Lodolo wasn't pitching at his best when he got hurt. I mean, he was. Well,
that's the reason because he got hurt.
That's what we hope was the reason. But I don't know.
So. I mean, before that, I remember driving back from Florida.
I hope that's why he
was pitching against Atlanta, and he just shut them down. That was against Atlanta, and that was the beginning of the season. I was back in April, so Lodolo can pitch. That's where I'm chalking up his bad outings to the injury. That's the reason he got. He was pitching bad and got on the injury list.
That's true.
Since Nick here. And if they come back, Green and Lodolo have just saved a month worth of innings. That's what I just said. So they won't be shut down. And another interesting thing, Nick Cross said this about Abbott. Now,
I'm not shutting Abbott down, yeah.
Yeah, I bring this up because Santori brought this up on my show, and I agreed with him that I didn't think Abbott would pitch a full season. But according to Nick Cross, they have no intention of shutting him down because of the innings he pitched in college, because of all the innings he pitched last year in the minor league. So they think he's strong enough and stretched out enough to pitch a full season in the MLB. So,
well, not exactly a full season, but
it'd be more
full season combined with his minor league stuff.
Yeah, so it would be a full season.
Yeah.
All right. I have a feeling, Jared, I have a feeling that we are getting starters and someone is getting pushed to the pen.
Yeah.
Well, let's just put it this way. Just say they do trade for Shohei.
Could be Weaver.
Just say if they trade for Shohei and you have Green and Lodolo back, Weaver and Williamson are both going to the pen because you have.
Well, if you have Shohei.
Yeah, if you have Shohei, you have Green, you have Lodolo, not in the particular order. Shohei, Green, Lodolo, Ashcraft, Abbott. Like I said, the rotation you mix and match different ways, but that's scary.
And that's the other thing. It kind of comes down to it too. We're a small market team here, guys. Let's remind ourselves of this. We're a small market team. And again, if you're coming here from football and you're coming into baseball, welcome to baseball. But stuff works a little differently around here. If you're a
People
little
watch
old,
my show, they know baseball.
If you're a little old Cincinnati, you don't have the money. If you don't have the money that New York does. And so what happens is, like the Yankees, there's a reason that they've won as many World Series as they do, because they are not a small market team. So here's the thing, guys, is if we're talking about the Reds' success, where right now we have a shot where, and Tom Brenneman's talking about this on his show, and he's been kind of getting me on board with this, is that when you have a shot right now where, who are we scared of? Who are we really scared of right now? The most I'd be scared to play against right now, all the way up to the World Series, would be the Braves. And we hung with them. I mean, we just did. And if our starting pitching is better, we absolutely beat them. Yeah, the dirty Y word. But if our starting pitcher is better, we easily beat the Braves, just hands down. We hung with them. We can
Well,
easily
that's the
beat
thing
them.
is our
So
strategy is
hey,
not
hold
to
on.
beat
Let me finish
That's
this.
what has to happen. Go ahead.
And finish this train of thought. We're a small market team. To think that we are going to plan for like we're going to plan for extended dominance versus let's sell the whole farm system to get a guy to win this year, because let's be honest, this is probably our best shot. I mean, at a certain point, where do you draw that line and just say, look, I mean, we really don't, this organization doesn't have the money, doesn't have the capital, doesn't have the market share of these big teams to really be able to fund the team to stay good for like 5 years and have a good shot at the World Series for 5 years. We can pile all of our money into like this year and try to go for it. I'm like, at some point, like, that might be it. That's how you do it as a small market team. It's real hard to have continued success. And even then, if I'm just saying trade for Shohei and you're there, I don't even think that's really blowing up the farm system that much. I don't even think that's putting all your eggs in one basket. I mean, it is more so than just keeping everyone, but you might never have a chance of even making the NLCS if you don't make a big trade and you don't go for someone new. Like, you just keep
Let's
keeping.
put it this way. Let's just say they trade Morte and they trade CES, and they get Shohei, and then we don't sign Shohei. Okay, you still have the exact same team you have right now. You know, you can say minus Votto. All right, then you put Indy over at first base, and you figure it out. I mean, that's. But in worst case, you sign Votto.
And it's not like we don't have like draft picks that we're about to draft tomorrow, who may be ready by then to fill in like Senzel or Newman, or it's crazy just to say that like your farm system's just blown up from like 3 guys.
And like I said, it's not. Chandler's been working on me for about 2 weeks on this thing.
But not Shohei. I haven't been talking about this till the past few days.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, past couple days. Anyway, you've been working on me, and at first I'm like, no. I'm like, you know what? You actually got a point, because if you lose, I don't want. I mean, I like CES. I want to see what we can do. But if you get the best player in baseball, that's what I'm willing to do. I'm now. I would like them. If you go get Verlander or somebody like that, I'm not trading CES for him. I'm trading Jose Barrero. I'm trading Nick Senzel. I'm trading somebody like that to go get him. And personally, I'm not sold on Verlander or Scherzer.
I think the other thing too is their contracts.
Very good. I would rather trade to go get some more bullpen help, to be honest, because of the young starting pitchers we have coming back.
But here's the other thing too. I mean, like Max, like you're talking about Max Scherzer. You want to talk about possibly like killing the vibe of the locker room? Like Max Scherzer kind of gives me the vibe of like an asshole, dude. I feel like that guy. You're gonna talk about a guy that could kill the vibe of the locker room. That's the guy. Like, not Shohei, not Votto. Like, Max Scherzer just seems like a douchebag. He's a great player, but every time I see him in press conferences and whatnot, he's just so smug. So I'm like, do we want him to be teaching our guys how to play? I'm like, no.
I mean, like I said, Jerry, I was thinking about it. I'm just saying, if I'm going to trade anybody in our farm system, and we got top prospects, I'm not trading them for Scherzer. I'm trading them for freaking Shohei.
You say Scherzinger?
Or Scherzer, sorry. Scherzinger, whatever his name is. I mean, that's just me. I mean, if you get Max, get Verlander, it's going to be lower, which you're right. I agree with you on that. But if you get Shohei Ohtani, that's your third hole. That's your best hitter in the lineup. That's your best freaking pitcher. The chances of the Reds the odds for the Reds to win the World Series if they get Shohei would go through the freaking roof.
Yeah, I feel like overnight the betting odds would instantly favor the Reds, if not just be like right there next to the Braves. As
now,
far as
this, I'm not trading. I agree with you. I'm not trading 4. I'm trading 2. That's it.
Well, no, he said I wouldn't trade those top 4 for anyone but Ohtani. So he's saying
I'd trade 2 of the 4. Anyways. I wouldn't trade all 4 of them.
I mean, would the Mets really part with a starting pitcher like Scherzer?
He said Ohtani couldn't crack our lineup.
Yeah, right.
He said laughing. He's joking.
But I just don't really see how, because we're not the only team that needs starting pitching. We're not the only team that has this idea with Scherzer.
Prospects.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. We have and that's why I'm saying we have a shot at going after Ohtani. But as far as like something like Scherzer and Verlander, there are other teams who are willing to do that, and they might be willing to give up someone on those. Yeah,
two of those.
Yeah,
two of those I trade for them.
But I'm saying there are teams who might be willing to give up more for Scherzer than we're willing to. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. I don't know,
dude, because those guys, those four guys right there are in the top.
I mean, you don't think that they're
pipeline. There's not, in my opinion, there's not a team right now.
They're not all top 10.
They're all right. Top 20. I'll put it down. Top 15. There's not many teams that had this many guys in their farm system that are ranked this high that right now don't have a spot for them. I mean, I'm not just giving these guys away. And I want to trade two of these guys. There's not a lot of teams that I think can match what the Reds could offer in minor league guys, like the Reds can. Just saying.
Yeah.
But again, I'm only trading two of these guys. There's no way in hell I'm trading four of them because that is hurting the future too much.
When is the deadline? Is the trade deadline? It's not tomorrow. It's not the day of the draft.
It's in August.
Yeah, it's in August.
So don't trade any prospects. Let it play out.
I mean, but like I said, like I've been saying, what do you do with these guys?
What do you let it play out for? Because
we have all four of these guys. What they're like? Let's say they're top 10, like you just said. Let's say they all hit. What are we gonna do with them?
D-Rock, if you just joined the show, we're talking about trading for Shohei Ohtani.
You have to.
That's all these four guys. That's all we're talking about trading. And I'm not saying all four. I'm saying two of them for Shohei. Other than that, I'm not trading any of them. The only way I'm trading any of these guys is for Shohei Ohtani. I'm not trading them for Scherzer. I'm not trading them for Verlander. I'm not trading for any of those guys. I will trade two of them for Shohei Ohtani. That's it.
Like, okay, CES, Arroyo, Marte, they all do not help this team at all if they're on the bench.
Or if they're in the minor leagues.
But you know how they can help this team? If we trade them and get a guy who will be on the mound every 5 games.
And be your DH every game.
That's my point. Where I can't get on the trade simulator. I've seen a few.
You've already done it.
I've seen a few.
You called me, woke me up today. What was you were on the trade simulator?
So Reds and 4 put one up that I liked. I don't even know if he was joking about it, but I saw it and I'm like, dude, I actually don't hate that.
What was the one you were trying to tell me today when I was?
It was like a top thing on the trade simulator, simulator.
Can you bring it up on your computer and share it with me here? We can do that live.
Now I gotta say, I've never been able to get this to work myself, like put up my own trades. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I can look at other people's trades.
All right, let's do that. Can you share it with me? You're gonna hit the.
Let me pull it up first here. Don't want you guys seeing my search history.
D-Rex said, what happens if someone gets hurt? They already gotten hurt. I mean, and they're dealing with it. I mean, it's Shohei. Again, D-Rock, I'm only talking about Shohei Ohtani. That's all I'm talking about.
I mean, what happens when someone gets hurt? That's what you have good bench players for. That's what I want Stuart Fairchild for.
He's a huge Stuart Fairchild.
But I'm just saying, you have good bench players to bring them up. You don't need freaking CES on your bench. So if a guy gets hurt, he can have a starting position finally. That's just wasting him. You don't keep guys who are that good on the bench. You trade them. Like, you don't keep guys that good on the bench when you have a big need at starting pitching. I think everyone here is in agreement that, like, of that at least. Maybe not Shohei, but everyone in here is in agreement that if you don't leave those guys on your bench when you need guys over here, it just doesn't make any sense.
Dennis says, "Hey guys, how long do you think the Reds can stay on top of the division?" I think they can win this thing. I mean, even without Shohei, I think they can win it.
You know what? I will have a very definitive answer for you in about a week. Let's see how this series is.
Who we get?
Casale for Scherzer.
Okay, I would do that in a heartbeat.
I mean, maybe.
Well,
see,
I'm not gonna trade Casale. A veteran.
Here's the thing, though. You know what?
Come on.
You know what, though? They keep wanting to put Casale out there with Abbott. Do they have a connection? I mean,
well, honestly, I think that was.
Is that going to mess Abbott up?
Put it this way, well, he didn't catch him last night. Malley caught him last night. So I think they're trying to figure it out.
Oh wait, no, it's always Malley. Never mind. It's not Casale.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, you are right. That's the thing. Casale hasn't caught. That's why I'm like, I don't know why they're not usually. But like right now, you can DFA him and bring CS up now. D-Rock, a lot of young guys. Things had changed, is what I'm saying. Too early to trade away good talent. You wouldn't trade for Shohei Ohtani. That's what I'm asking you. You wouldn't trade two of our young prospects for the best freaking player in baseball. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just putting it out there. That's what I'm asking.
I mean, all I'm trying to say is I'm just trying to make my point that it is far from crazy, and it is 100%, and it is 100% something that the Reds should be looking into. And if they're not, I think they're crazy. Okay, how do I do this? Present. Share screen.
Yep.
We're gonna select this screen. Okay. Yep. And then wait for me to get up here. All right, you can see that.
Yep. You got me. You and me though.
But no, not anymore.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I don't know how.
Trying to fix that.
Well, I don't know why it's messing up.
So Ice, what time does Reds generation? What are you talking about, Crip? I don't even know what you mean by that. I don't even know what that is. Jared, the fact we're even having these conversations is great. Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely it is.
How does that look?
Same thing.
Okay.
Because you got to go.
It's not going to happen then.
You got to go to the other little screen and click. You got to change it to your box. You got to change it so it looks so this part is what you're trying to show, not us.
No, I know. I'm clicking to the other thing. I'm clicking show entire screen. It's just not working.
All right. Well, I'd bring it up, but I don't know how to use this simulator. I haven't done it. D-Rock, yeah. I'm with you on that. For a solid rotation, there you got another challenge. Okay. Rotation guy who won't be there in 2 or 3 years. No. So
okay. So these are basically the way this works. This is what people have put together for possible trades for Shohei and the Reds. So let's go through a few of these here. This is the one that I was talking about today. So the Reds would give and this is a lot of likes from the Reds. Orioles, a lot of no's. So I think the likes and stuff come from mainly people who are like part of those teams. But what the Reds would be giving up the comp balance pick in Arroyo and India
to get,
and would get Ohtani, and Orioles would give Cowser and they would get India. So that's what that one is.
All right.
And so if you look at this, it has all these metrics here. And I think it's based off of your wins above replacement.
Right.
So it's above. It's calculated based off of your WAR. I don't think it's exactly your WAR, but it's something like that. So it's a pretty good estimate.
This is where the new school baseball comes in, the old school. I don't understand all the analytics as much as
wins above replacement basically means that it is an estimate of basically their production offensively and defensively, just their complete production. How many more wins would they give you, just them alone, than a guy than your average guy you could just call up from the minors? Right. That's how that's based off of.
Okay.
And so they use that stat to determine just how good and how valuable players are in general. And then this will, you see these total values. That's how this determines if it's a fair trade or not. So that's what all these numbers here are. That is their value number that this put on. It's not their WAR, but it's based off of their WAR. Okay. So this is the kind of stuff that, like, this trade's crazy. Like, this trade that has, I think, too much. And you can tell the total value. We would be giving them 70, and we would be getting 57. So yeah, that's a bit of a lopsided thing. And I really don't think.
I can't see it.
That'd be Arroyo, Cam Collinger, our comp pick, CES, and Lyon Richardson.
I wouldn't do that one.
I'm all for it. You give up 2 of the guys in a comp pick, and say that's our that might be it. Let's see what else you got. That's not bad. Look at that. Ashcraft in India for Shohei. I would do this in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
Oh, I hate
because, dude, I'm just saying. If you don't have to give up your farm system, if you do give up 2 starters that you have now, guys
that's banking on Connor being really good. If you lose Shohei, Connor's got to be the guy to come up there and replace Ashcraft, which
your Shohei's the guy that replaces Ashcraft. And he's already going to be better than Graham.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if the Reds. Shohei would have to take less money, I think, to stay here, just in less years. Which I know you said he wants to win.
Well, no, I don't necessarily think. I'm not even necessarily thinking upon like team friendly deal as far as he wants to win. I'm saying wants to win in that he would take a deal, like a short-term deal that the Reds could afford, because let's face it, the Reds can't afford giving him a 10-year crazy deal. I'm saying if the Mets are going to offer him 10 years, whatever, and the Yankees are going to offer him 10 years, whatever, and all these big market teams are going to offer him all these crazy deals, but the Reds are like, hey, look, we can't give you that big of a deal, but we can give you 2 years, like 160. You make $80 million a year for the next 2 years. Like, you'll make more per year with us, but we can't afford to keep you for that long. I'm telling you, I feel like he wants to win enough where he's going to take that. That's what I'm telling you.
Let's just put it this way. Joel here says no point in trading for Shohei since we can't pay him, which is not true. They can't pay him because we're not paying anybody. All right, but let's just put it this way. We're not paying anybody. So the narrative that we can't pay him.
But we cannot pay him for 10 years.
I'm not saying we should pay him $100 million or $500 million for 10. I'm not saying that stuff. Let's just put it this way. Just say worst case, you trade 2 of our top 4 prospects. You get Shohei Ohtani, and you get him for this year. And best case scenario, the Reds win the World Series. And then Shohei Ohtani goes off and makes a whole bunch of money somewhere else. Who's not for that?
Dude, this is absolutely disgusting.
I can't see it. I had my glasses.
We'd give up Elly De La Cruz.
Oh, no.
Yes, Nick Lodolo.
No. Not doing it.
That's absolutely disgusting. No way. And let's also point out that they have Elly De La Cruz as more valuable than Shohei Ohtani on this now. And part of that, too, this also does take into account how much longer they have on their contract. So, that's also a big part of that, too. Why Shohei's value is down. Because when you trade, you're really only guaranteed to get half.
And I keep saying this. I'm not wanting to sign Shohei Ohtani for a 10-year contract. I'm not saying that. I'm signing him for 4 at the most.
Dude, tell me you wouldn't do this right now. Absolutely.
What is it?
Arroyo, Ashcraft, comp pick, Fernando Cruz, and you get Shohei. Absolutely.
I do that.
Absolutely.
I would do that because you're adding Shohei, and then you have Connor in the minor leagues who could potentially replace Ashcraft.
Absolutely. And the only farm system guy you'd be giving up is Arroyo.
Yeah, and you'd still keep CES, and you still have Marte.
Yeah,
so, yeah, and you have Connor who could. Like
I would do that in a heartbeat. Oh, what the hell just happened? I clicked on something. Let's go back. I would do that in a heartbeat, dude. What's this one over here? Let's see. Some of these guys, I don't know. I don't know. I can't claim that I know all the players across the entire MLB.
Damn it, Chandler! What the hell?
But
come on.
Yeah. What does this have us given up? Marte, CES. Is that it? That's all this is? Marte and CES.
That's what I'm saying. That's the trade I'm saying. CES.
Is this Brandon Williamson? Is that us?
Yeah, that's who the Angels get. Yeah.
No, I'm saying, is that our Williamson? Because I can't tell if that is like some Williamson on the White Sox or if that's Brandon Williamson.
I don't know. I would assume Brandon Williamson. Who's the White Sox?
And this one they get Petty.
I don't know who that is. And we get
Phillips.
Shohei.
Galito. Yeah, we get Shohei in that one. Look at that. This one, Let's see. When I take this, Jake Fraley, Nick Lodolo, Nick Senzel,
Let me read
Levi Stout.
Let me read D-Rock's comment here. Elly is the unicorn. How many games have they won because of him? Most of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Quite a few. I think they've lost.
Oh yeah.
4 games, I think, since he's been up, or something crazy like that. Or games that he's played. I think they lost 4 or 5 times. That's it. Jerry says the White Sox wouldn't do it.
Wouldn't do this one.
Yeah,
probably not. I mean, they're not favored in this. I don't know who Tyler Anderson is. He's got a negative value, so I guess he's got like a terrible contract or something. So
I need to go get my
rid
glasses.
of contract.
My glasses are over there.
Let's see if I can zoom out this way.
Come on, hey.
That might help you there. I don't know. I guess he's got a terrible contract that they want to get rid of, so that would help. We can take on this guy's contract.
Oh, these suck. Oh, that doesn't help. I need my glasses. These are your mom's glasses. Those don't help at all.
Let's sort this by most likes. Let's see what people are liking.
The Reds should sign starting pitcher Yamamoto from Japan this offseason. Hey, if I was Nick Kroll, what I would do, I would say, you know what? I don't care about any of his past. He's a new man. Let's bring back our former Cy Young pitcher. Let's call him out. Trevor Bauer?
Japan and get Trevor Bauer back. That's what I'm telling you. If I was Nick Kroll, I'd be like, I don't care about any of that stuff. He is a baseball player, and we don't have to worry about his personal life. You
don't care who he chokes?
Yeah, I don't care who he chokes.
D-Rock's with you. I think D-Rock is with you.
They said it. He said it was consensual. I believe him because he's a good pitcher. I mean, why else you gonna believe it? You're gonna look at evidence. Come on.
It's not tongue in cheek. We don't hate. It's tongue in cheek. No, we're laughing.
Oh gosh.
I mean, as far as pitching,
but in all seriousness, I'm like, I probably would do it. I mean,
in all seriousness, yeah. I mean,
there are a ton of guys who are bad people who are in the MLB that do a lot of bad things. I mean, there are.
Well, you got to deal with chemistry and how would he fit and yada yada yada. Which honestly,
yeah, he's a little bit of an asshole, but he's funny.
And he's also in Japan. I'm sure he wants to get back to Major Baseball. So
he definitely does. And he would take like the smallest deal, like because I'm sure.
Well, I don't think he's still getting paid by the Dodgers, isn't he? Or did they get out of that whole contract?
I don't know what the deal is there.
Baseball contracts are guaranteed. I don't know if you get out of it.
I don't know what the deal is there, but I'll say,
Bring back Latos. They really screw up the locker room. Matt Latos. You remember Matt Latos?
Yeah, I do.
Matt Latos was a psycho, dude. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna go hang out with your mom. We're gonna go watch a movie here, but we've been on for almost 2 hours, so. People say we should do this more often, but you work too much. So you can't come on all the time.
I do.
They like you. But, hey, make sure you go follow Cat Pole at Cat Pole, right?
Yeah. Just at Cat Pole.
Just at Cat Pole.
Yeah, that's me.
There you go. Anything else you'd like to say to Reds Nation before we get the heck out of here?
How many people you got on the show?
Right now, 21. We had 29 at the highest.
Crap, 21 people watching.
I know.
Right now. That's great.
I'm big time, dude.
I want to tell you guys all that, even if we don't get Shohei Ohtani, I think the Reds are going to make a run this year. This team is built different, man. We got it, and it's an easy dub tomorrow. So that's all I gotta say.
Easy dub. He's calling it easy dub.
I mean, I just made some money today on betting on the Reds. So I'm gonna
make a lot of money betting on the Reds.
Let's go.
All right, guys. Appreciate you, Jordan. Like I said, you don't follow me. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to the channel, Sports Strawberry Ice. This has been fun. Hey, if they win, maybe we'll do this again tomorrow. Who knows? Other than that, ready?
That's just sports, baby.
See ya!